absolutely hate to eat? All right, what are some of them?
Onions.
Mushrooms.
Brussels sprouts. Tomatoes.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story. It's called DW the Picky Eater by Mark Brown, and I'm Karissa Galbraith. So my mom asked me the other day to help her unload the groceries, so I just sauntered on in the room and I start pulling stuff out. Ew, Mom, what is this? It's smelly and it looks gross, it's scaly, and it has eyes. It's looking at me. I am not going to eat that. DW, you have not even tried it. How can you say that? Mom, I don't eat things with eyes. I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I don't eat beets, cauliflower, potatoes, anything. I don't eat it. It's gross. And probably a few other things. But in a million years, I will never try liver. But even more than liver, I hate spinach. It's disgusting. Arthur looked at me and sneered, "You're a picky eater, DW. Why don't you just face it?" I'm not picky. I prefer selective. Thank you very much. So, the next day, my dad was driving me to playgroup and he had a surprise for me. He made my lunch. Great, I thought. Another lunch that I won't be able to eat. After playgroup, he picked me up and he looks down at me and he's like, "So DW, did you eat your sandwich?" It fell in the dirt. It was totally an accident, Dad, I promise. I didn't do it on purpose. Then, on Thursday, my best friend Emily invited me to come over to her house. I love going to her house. We just play with dolls, and we have so much fun. And she invited me to stay for dinner. She looked at me, she was so excited. "We're having spaghetti, DW." Great, I love spaghetti. Just without the sauce or the meatballs. And she looked at me, she's like, "Are you crazy? That's the best part." I was like, okay. So her mom brought me in a plain plate of noodles. Great, I can hardly wait to dig in. Emily, what are those green things in my noodles? "It's parsley, DW." It's contaminated. I can't eat it. I'm sorry. So I went another night without eating food. Then, the next night, my dad decided to be exotic and make Hawaiian shrimp. It was so funny looking. It was all shaped weird and floppy. I couldn't eat it, so good thing my dog Pal's there for me, so I just snuck it right under the table. Then, on Saturday, my family went out to dinner. And I sat in my seat, and they brought out the house salads. And I looked in, and I could not believe what I saw. "Ah, it's spinach! Mom, I won't eat it. I refuse." And I chucked it across the table. And I knew I had done it then. My dad scolded, "DW, how dare you act like that in a restaurant? You are grounded from ever eating out with us again." "Well, fine, Dad. I'd rather stay at home with a babysitter anyways." So from then on, I stayed at home with a babysitter. Then one morning after my family went out to dinner, I was sitting next to Arthur at breakfast, and he was playing with a paper umbrella. I was like, "Hey, that's cool. Where'd you get that?" And he looked at me. "At the Chinese restaurant. It was so much fun. You missed out." So I got to thinking, what am I missing out by being so picky? And then my mom announced, "Tomorrow's Grandma Thora's birthday. It's our big night out, and we're going out to eat." So this was my chance. Mom, please, can I come? I promise I'll be good." And she looks down at me and she said, "Now, DW, you're going to have to eat what's on the menu. You can't throw any tantrums, and you have to behave." "Okay, I promise, I'll be so good." So I got all dressed up on Saturday night to go out for my Grandma Thora's birthday, wearing my favorite pink dress. And we pulled in the restaurant, and I sat down, and the table was just high enough, so if I had to discard of anything, no one would notice. Then the waiter walks up and says, "Hi, I'm Richard, your waiter tonight, and here's a kiddie seat for the little girl." "Thanks a lot," I said, blew my cover. So I start looking at the menu, and there's 3 pigs in a blanket, Cinderella soup, and little Bo Peep pot pie. So I was like, I think I'll go with Bo Peep pot pie. I like Bo Peep, and I like pie, so how could it be a bad mistake? So they bring in the food, and I look at it. Smells okay, looks okay. So think I'll start trying it. I look up and everybody's looking at me. I could just feel the hope in their eyes that I wouldn't throw another tantrum. So I take my first bite. Oh, it's so good. And bite after bite, I finish the entire thing. Mom, you have to make this for me. It's so good. So she asked the waiter what was in the Bo Peep pot pie. And he said, it's really simple, really. You just take some pie pastry and put in lots and lots of spinach.